Hi, and welcome to the latest in the Elevate series of webinars. I'm Mark Swanholm, the Vice President of Partnerships and Alliances with BillingPlatform. Today's webinar is entitled Adapting to the Customer-Driven Sales Cycle, the Synergies of CPQ and Billing. Our panel is going to be led today by John Kaminsky, Director of Alliances at BillingPlatform. He'll be speaking with Chelsea Fickbohm, the Billing Practice Lead at ATG, along with Evan Collier, Revenue Cloud Practice Lead Architect at ATG. And in the demonstration portion of today's webinar, they'll be joined by Andrew Pazzulu and John Coppage. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Over to you, John.
Thanks, Mark. The way enterprises are selling their products and services is adapting to the needs and, quite frankly, the demands of their customers. The CRO and CFO have different objectives, however. Sales needs to adapt quickly to these new buyer expectations, while finance needs to close the books accurately and on time. During this session, we're going to dig into the business benefits of deploying CPQ as well as enterprise billing and see what can be achieved by integrating the two together. Now, Chelsea, what gets in the way of some of these objectives?
There's quite a few things that can get in the way of these objectives, John. And what you mentioned is not, it doesn't sound groundbreaking, but it is the most common objectives of projects that we see as consultants in quote to revenue. So sales continues to need to adapt to a customer-driven life cycle, and finance needs to close the books accurately and on time. The potential for friction between flexible and responsive sales and efficient billing bubbles up a need for close business, process, and technology alignment. So we're going to talk a little bit about what can get in the way of alignment between the CRO and the CFO objectives. And we really want to talk about technology. So for companies, technology can be a double-edged sword. We know that CRM, CPQ, and billing systems help run business and impact competitiveness. Really, it's a critical aspect of any contemporary business. But the sharp side of the sword is that updating these systems and the skills to manage the technology stack requires ongoing investments from companies, both in time and in money.
These new sales and billing models are being really demanded and driven by customers in the market today, but they can be very challenging to implement and practice. Customers are starting to demand greater variations of type, quantity, and delivery method of products that they're buying today. And oftentimes our clients don't have the infrastructure in place to support those buying and billing models. So with technology and go-to-market approaches evolving quickly, our CPQ and billing solutions need to have the flexibility to rise up and meet these customer needs in its ever-evolving market. But there's also key guardrails that you need to ensure that your business can still move quickly and responsibly through these.
And I think the responsiveness and the speed to delivery is a key aspect here. So the pressure for flexibility and new sales and billing strategies come at an inflection point often for many companies. An inflection point might be the launch of a new product or service, or maybe it's a merger or acquisition. To accommodate system gaps and the timely need to address new go-to-market strategies, we've seen both sales and billing processes taken out of your CPQ or your billing systems and put into Excel, even into Notebook in some cases, but other manually manipulable formats. Often this data is moved back into the legacy system in a format that's consumable, but the swivel chair processes can be quite error-prone and they're very weighty for your teams. In short, they're really just not sustainable for a growing company. So though you might have the most attentive and accurate sales, finance, and customer service teams, anytime you have a person handling data, there's risk of inaccuracies. And inaccuracies have the potential to create major customer-facing errors resulting in missed revenue and impacting customer satisfaction, cash flow, and the bottom line. So the implementation of Band-Aid processes that force systems to work together or manual efforts to enrich and manipulate data to cover for gaps in legacy architecture is not uncommon, but it does end up forcing redundant work, and the stopgaps don't allow for a clean system of record or a source of truth. And most importantly, perhaps, they really take away from your valuable resources and the time that you have to focus on growth and customer responsiveness. In turn, this can impact sales velocity, margins, and your accurate billing and reporting. John, before you jump in, I know you're going to ask what the answer is here. And we believe that the key to CRO and CFO alignment and market responsiveness can't be boiled down to a single solution. It's not a brand new system or a single brand new system. There's no magic bullet. But what we have seen in successful digital transformations are companies that invest in a transformation that aligns their people, their processes, and their technology. And this allows them to adapt to that customer-driven life cycle.
So Chelsea and Evan, what happens if sales and finance are not aligned?
When we implement CPQ in a silo, oftentimes what we're left with is a very shiny new sales process, whether that's a new pricing and go-to-market strategy, we're helping a customer through a merger or an acquisition, or simply helping them put additional processes in there. What we're left with oftentimes is if we neglect the billing solution while implementing CPQ, there's a major disconnect and we're only going to perpetuate manual processes between sales and finance or sales and legal. We're going to increase potentially the amount of invoice inaccuracies and errors that finance is left to deal with at the end of the day. And we're going to increase the number of customer disputes that are called in to address these invoicing errors. And oftentimes what happens is the customer ends up being billed differently than what they agreed to on their order form, causing additional issues until they're addressed.
You could have the same results with a shiny new billing system, really, if you're not considering your sales processes and what you have available in your CPQ platform for product combinations, bundling of sorts. It's true that not all projects require a CPQ and billing implementation at the same time, but your CPQ system needs to be considered when you're implementing a billing solution for that to be effective. And vice versa, your billing system needs to be considered if you're implementing your shiny new CPQ quoting sales engine. We have seen CPQ projects just grind to a halt when billing requirements or billing audit requirements, things that are immovable, are brought to light late in the implementation process. In addition, I've seen billing projects just stall when you go through testing, sales introduces a new strategy, that's their go-forward plan, and we haven't considered that as we've configured the architecture for this system. So I think, in short, we really need to make sure that the sales teams, the CSM teams, and the finance team are all speaking as we implement a CPQ system or a billing system, and in a perfect world, your systems would be speaking as well.
So we can bring the CRO and CFO together on that quote to revenue journey. So sales teams can sell how and what the customer wants. CFOs can enable their teams to support agility while ensuring accuracy. So unified revenue transformation really brings together CPQ, billing, and RevRec into one solution. So Evan and Chelsea, do you have any examples of some clients that have successfully deployed this type of transformation?
Yeah, we have clients where the successful outcome of CPQ implementation is the rollout of a new sales strategy and a new go-to-market strategy. We've built solutions for them to tackle complex pricing, complex bundling, and product dependency requirements, and do this in a very self-sufficient manner while reducing their involvement with the finance team to discuss invoice disputes and invoicing inaccuracies from an account management perspective, really leading to greater sales efficiency throughout the long term and greater sales enablement through user adoption.
An example that I can think of actually includes a CPQ implementation, middleware for seamless integration to a billing solution, and the middleware for seamless integration to a billing solution. And what was key about the success of this project is that middleware reduced the manual touch on data. It provided the automation that companies are really looking for between your CPQ engine, your billing engine, It makes your processes more effective, more efficient. And one way that we talked with our client about the importance of integration here was discussing just the number of hands that might touch a sales contract or a quote as it's being moved to the billing solution during order fulfillment and then in the next steps for billing or subscription management. And we always talked about an individual named Peggy, Peggy loved the data. She was very, very careful with it, but she also had fat fingers and she added a 0 here and there. She put a Z in an address that sent the bill to the wrong location. And she also went on vacation. And we replaced Peggy with this integration alongside the CPQ implementation that had all the benefits that Evan talked about, and a billing implementation. And what that resulted in is a lot of discussion about sales strategies and go-to-market approaches. The company was able to figure out their future state, and they were able to develop an architecture for it and for future growth into that state, more of a framework than anything else.
Excellent. So why don't we jump into a demonstration now of unified revenue transformation and actually see a CPQ and billing platform integrated together and see the solution live.
Thanks, John. The journey of a lead becoming recognized revenue is full of complexities and handoffs. We want quoting to be fast, accurate, and transactable so that the billing system can pick it up to generate invoices and recognize revenue quickly and accurately. The power and flexibility of BillingPlatform makes this handoff easy, as we have the tools not only to accept complex deal structures from CPQ, but also enrich that data in the context of billing and revenue recognition. Today, we'll be taking a look at an integration between Salesforce CPQ and BillingPlatform, but this could be facilitated through other CRM or CPQ tools as well. Now I'd like to hand it off to Andrew for the demo.
Thanks, John. Jumping in, you can see that I've already created an opportunity in Salesforce. We'll click on New Quote, capture some basic information about the quote, and then click Next. Upon saving, we'll be taken into the quote line editor and directly into product selection since we don't have any products added to the quote yet. For today's demo, we've created a configurable bundle called Analytics Cloud Enterprise, so we'll go ahead and search for and add that to our quote. When we select a configurable bundle, CPQ takes us into the configurator screen. This is where we can see relevant product options for the bundle. Here we see our options broken up into 3 sections, one for included features that come with the Enterprise bundle, which includes Analytics Cloud, Reporting Hub, and Trend Forecasting, one for add-ons, which contains an optional data storage usage product as well as a data tracker device, and one for revenue commitment, which allows us to add a software revenue commitment. We'll go ahead and add all 3 of the optional selections here. After selecting the software revenue commitment, we see that we need to configure it, and we can do so by clicking on the wrench here. We want to set up a software commitment of $1,500 a month, so we'll set those values appropriately and then save. There won't be any pricing associated to our revenue commitment inside of CPQ, as the process will be mastered from within BillingPlatform based on the attributes captured here. We'll save out of the Analytics Cloud Enterprise bundle and then return back to the QLE. After saving, we'll see all of our selections carry over to the quote line editor. Analytics Cloud Enterprise will cost $1,000 a month, so $12,000 for the entire year. Notice how the included features will show as such in the list unit price column and display a $0 net total. The data tracker device will be a one-time charge of $100. Our usage product is set to $0 as charges will only be incurred upon actual consumption. By viewing our consumption schedule from directly within the quote line editor, we can see the different tiers usage will be rated at. We see that if less than 20 terabytes is used, each terabyte will cost $10. If 20 to 49 terabytes is used, each terabyte will cost $9. If 50 terabytes or more is used, each terabyte will cost $8. We'll go ahead and close out of this and then save out of the quote line editor. This is where we would typically go through approvals and receive signature, but for the sake of time and with the admin capabilities bestowed upon me, we'll go ahead and navigate back to the opportunity so that we can mark it as closed won now. Upon setting our stage to closed won, automation has kicked off to create and activate our order for us. From our order, we'll see that all of our quote lines have carried over as order products. The order will then be transferred from Salesforce to BillingPlatform via BillingPlatform's native Salesforce connector. Hopping over to our customer account inside of BillingPlatform, we have a quick glimpse into the financials for the account. Scrolling down, we see our order has made its way over and is ready to be billed. We can also see that our products have carried over, and we have our 4 subscriptions, our one-time charge, our usage, and our revenue commitment. Let's fast forward to the end of the month. We can see within collector activity that 30 usage events have been inserted. In this example, we're receiving usage data pre-consolidated on a daily basis, but BillingPlatform can handle more complex scenarios such as performing this type of consolidation from a larger data set, deduplication, or splitting of usage events across multiple accounts. By viewing the invoice document, we can see our invoice details, including the summary of charges. Scrolling down, we see our breakdown of our charges. We see that since we had 45.49 terabytes of usage, that usage was rated at $9, giving us a total of $409.41. We see our subscription charge, our one-time charge, and then we see our revenue commitment charge of $90.59 that is covering the shortfall of our $1,500 a month software revenue commitment. This true-up can more easily be seen down further in our revenue commitment events table, where we only show the charges counting towards our revenue commitment, which in this case is our software products and usage. Today we saw just one basic example of BillingPlatform's magic at work, but its capabilities go far beyond this. If you can quote it, BillingPlatform can bill it.
Thank you, John and Andrew, for a great demo. Why don't we take a look at some of the biggest business outcomes clients can achieve?
Yeah, when we look at bringing together a successful CPQ solution, oftentimes one of the biggest benefits is ensuring that really valid combinations of products and services are sold together, and only valid combinations. Oftentimes we're brought in because sales teams are missing important services or not charging for important services that are still being delivered. And through CPQ, we're able to put a lot of guardrails in place and really help the salesperson through a guided process to ensure that the package they're selling is valid and agreed upon. Once they've sold this bundle successfully, we're able to bill for it in multiple different ways. The sales team through CPQ is able to kind of put together an offering through some dynamic capabilities in CPQ that will allow for multiple different ways of billing and provisioning the products based off the customer's needs.
Great, and if the systems are aligned, you're able to capture that dynamic way of selling and move that to the billing system seamlessly. So your invoices to the customer will look exactly as they expect from what they've agreed to in the contract. And then with a seamless integration, that contract management is so much easier as well. We know when products or services are aging or coming to term, when the contract is up for renewal or perhaps up for an uplift or an upgrade status. In short, the alignment between your CPQ and your billing and revenue recognition engine just allows you to take that quote to revenue in so much less time and with fewer errors. Advanced Technology Group, ATG Cognizant, helps achieve that quote to revenue in less time. As a leader in solutions for mid-market and enterprise brands, our team brings contemporary consulting to a global marketplace. Our offerings span advisory and transformation services, implementation and integration services, and application support.
And BillingPlatform provides the critical capabilities for enterprises to achieve those outcomes. Supports all of your business requirements, whether any product, any service, any business model. Quickly and easily roll out innovative business models, whether they be one-time, recurring, subscription, flat rate, usage-based, in a single solution. Extend the platform with no-code capabilities to support your ever-changing business needs while running your business with greater efficiency, accuracy, control, and trust. BillingPlatform allows you to manage all critical front, middle, and back office systems with a fully integrated ecosystem.
Thanks, John, Chelsea, and Evan. as well as Andrew and John on the demo. That was great. Really appreciate everyone joining us today for this Elevate Series webinar. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to any of the folks on the webinar today. You can see emails here for them. Or if you're interested in anything about Billing Platform or have questions for us, please reach out at contact@billingplatform.com. We'd love to hear from you and look forward to speaking to you soon about this and other opportunities. Thanks, and have a great day until next time.